What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the best place for young professionals who want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. In today's video, I want to go over exactly how you, as a young professional, can save money for your first home down payment. Buying a condo or a house is the biggest purchase that you're ever going to make, so it can be intimidating to save that money for a down payment or a deposit. But it doesn't have to be if you have a plan. So if you're looking for tips on how to save a down payment for a house or how to save money for your first deposit, keep on watching. First, let's take a look at what most people do. Most people will start saving without a goal in mind or a timeline. They just start putting money away and hoping that eventually one day that they're going to have enough money to put down for a deposit. But what you should do is pick a goal property, so have a goal property in mind, a goal neighborhood. That way you can find out what the actual price range of the home that you're looking for is in. And when you find that price range, you can reverse engineer your goals depending on how much money that you need to put down. For example, let's say you are buying a $500,000 condo and you just wanted to put down 5%. So 5% of 500K is $25,000. If you were only putting down $500 a month into your savings, it would take you just over 4 years to save that $25,000. The downside of this is in 4 years, the market isn't going to be the same as it is right now. So that $500,000 condo is going to get you less space than it would right now. So you need to act fast. A simple approach would be to just double your savings. So go from 500 to 1,000 or 600 to 1,200 a month that you're putting away in your savings. That seems like a simple process, right? But how do we double our savings? Here are 5 steps that you can take right now to double your savings, cut your savings time in half, and improve your chances of getting a better mortgage. By the way, if you want help on how to find your dream property and get it for an amazing price, click the link in the description box below for my free guide on exactly how to do that. Step number 1 is to pay off your high interest debts. And this seems like pretty common sense for a lot of people, but most people don't do it. And most people will start putting away money in their savings account. So I want to save some money. First thing I think of is I'm going to put any extra money into my savings account. But if I'm not paying off my high interest debts like credit cards, student loans, things like that, then these interest charges and bank late payment fees are going to be like holes in my bucket. I'm always putting money in savings, but I always have interest trickling out the other end, and that's money that I shouldn't be spending. It's going basically towards interest and not accruing interest, which is what I want it to do. So the first step is to pay off these high interest debts. There are 2 huge reasons why this is important for buying your property. The first is plugging the holes in that bucket, right? Paying off that interest, not having interest charges that drain that bucket each month. The second is that paying off your credit balances helps to improve your credit score, which in turn helps you improve your chances of borrowing money. Remember, you're not going to pay for the entire property out of your own pocket right away. You're going to have to borrow the majority of the money through a mortgage. And if your credit score is bad, it greatly reduces your chances of getting a good mortgage or getting approved for a mortgage in its entirety. So paying off your credit shows the credit report system that you're doing a good job paying off your balances, and you can improve your credit at the same time. So the first step is to list all those high interest debts such as credit cards and pay those off first. There are 2 helpful methods that you can use to pay off debt. One is called the snowball method, so the debt snowball method, and one is called the debt avalanche method. And these are 2 approaches that I'll go over in a future video, but there are plenty of channels on YouTube and even Instagram that go over these 2 types of methods. Number 2 is cutting your expenses. If you're trying to save money for a down payment or a car or anything, you need to prioritize it. And by spending the way that you're currently spending, that's not prioritizing it. So what you should do is go through your current expenses, your current monthly expenses, and see what are the biggest bang for your buck areas where you can make the biggest change. So you don't have to go cold turkey, and that's really a bad way of doing it. What you should do is pick things that have the biggest bang for your buck, and keep things that are comforts for you that you can afford to keep in, that makes saving not such a miserable process. Some examples are eating out versus eating at home. So ordering takeout can cost $50, $60 in one go versus eating at home, buying groceries and learning how to meal prep or cook for yourself at home. You can literally save hundreds of dollars per month or per week depending on how much money you're spending on takeout currently. Excessive online shopping versus using what you already have at home. Do you really need a third air fryer? Or using the 72-hour rule, which is if you really want to buy something, put it in your cart, step away, give it 72 hours, and once that initial excitement of buying that thing has gone, then you can practically look at that expense as, do I really need this thing, or was it just a spur of the moment impulse? Another great example is vacations. Most people go on vacation about 2 times a year. By cutting one vacation out or turning it into a more affordable staycation, you can literally save thousands of dollars per year. And I know what you're thinking. I love my vacations. I can't part with them. That's fine. If you want to cut expenses somewhere else, then be my guest, do that. If vacations really mean a lot to you and contribute to your sanity throughout the year, then sure. But if you can actually remove it, remember, this is a priority. Your house is a priority. Once you get your dream house, save that deposit, and move in, then you can shift that money back to your vacations. But if it's not mandatory, you can really consider them as extra expenses and cut one, not both of them, but cut one of them out, and you can save thousands of dollars that you can put towards that down payment. Step number 3, and this one is a huge one and often overlooked, is saving by percentage rather than a fixed amount per month. What most people do when they save is they pick an amount that they want to save per month and they try to put that away every month no matter how the month is going. But the reality is people have good months and people have bad months. Some months are going to be better income-wise and some months are going to be worse. Having a fixed amount makes it really difficult on those months where the income isn't doing so well. By saving by percentage, this allows it to adjust depending on how good or bad the month is going. So if you're having a great month, then you're going to be able to put more away because the percentage is going to count towards more of that total income. If you're having a worse month, then you're going to put less away naturally, and it's not going to feel as difficult because you're not putting away a huge chunk of your income on a bad month. This gives you some breathing room and allows you to still save on the bad months and gives you that consistency of saving over the long term, which is what we're looking for, because saving a huge bunch of money in the beginning and then failing to save a bunch of months later isn't what we're going after. We're looking for consistent savings every month. Step number 4 is to get a higher paying job or adding a side hustle. When people decide to save, they always look at what they can take away. And that's a miserable way to look at it because it makes saving kind of a horrible process. You're always taking stuff away. It's like dieting. I'm always looking for what foods that I enjoy that I'm going to have to remove. As obvious as this may sound, most people don't consider just making more money. And I know what you're thinking, Sean, if it was that easy to just make more money, I would have done it already. But maybe there are some options that you may not have considered. The first option is to get a higher paying job or ask for a raise. If you've been at your company or your job for a long time, maybe it's time to ask for a raise. It doesn't hurt to ask. And if you do, you can exponentially increase the amount that you make each month and thus exponentially increase the amount that you can save each month. You could also look for a higher paying job depending on your credentials or if that's easier for you. The second option is actually easier for most people, and that is to add a side hustle. Consider, are there any skills that you have that could be of value to other people? For example, if you're good at fitness, could you offer coaching services to people who want to lose weight? Are you good at photography and can offer photography services on the weekends when you're not at your current job? Are you good at web design or graphic design and you can offer those services to people who aren't good at those things. Look at the skills that you currently have, things that you're good at, hobbies, and see what can you monetize and turn into a service. This isn't about turning it into a full-blown business. This is about making extra cash on the side that you can put towards saving for that down payment. Another option is to sell stuff that you already have at home. When you bought these items, they were of value to you, and they're still of value to someone else. So comb through your house, look for things that you can find to sell on Kijiji, eBay, Craigslist, because all these things will add up to hundreds to even thousands of dollars over the course of a year. And putting that in your house savings fund will put you miles ahead of where you would be if you weren't to do those things. The last step, step number 5, is to save lump sums of cash. Likely during the year you receive lump sums of cash in birthday presents, Christmas gifts, work bonuses, tax returns, and most people will put this money into their checking account or into their wallet, and they end up spending it or losing track of it. From now on, what you're going to do is you're going to take these little cash injections and you're going to put them directly into your home savings account. That way they can be put towards your down payment and accrue interest that'll help you buy that property. By this point in the video, we've gone over 5 steps that you can implement right now to start saving and cut your time in half on your savings for your first home deposit or down payment. Like I mentioned earlier, don't forget to grab the free guide. Link is in the description box below for how to get your dream home for an amazing price. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.